When I made my first ever character design video, it was none other than Wuthering Waves. I argued that while the designs were cool, that a lot of them would struggle against the test of time due to the reused color palettes, that people would struggle to remember specific designs due to oversaturation of the same design choices being made. One repeated misunderstanding that came from the comments in that video was that I was saying muted colors were bad, when that's not the case. Muted colors can go beyond gold, white, and black, and I wanted to see Wuwa designs branch out more. They don't need bright colors like Genshin Impact, like many were comparing Wuthering Waves to. I think the more muted tones suit Wuthering Waves, but muted colors can be any color, not just the three they kept on repeating. I'll be honest, the reception to that video discouraged me from talking about Wuthering Waves for over a year, but I wanted to see if and how the designs have evolved. I've seen some incredible splash art from characters like Augusta and Brant, and they look awesome. I hope you'll be willing to listen to this video with an open mind. This will also be from the perspective of someone who played Wuwa during launch in the first few patches but stopped shortly after. I'll be starting with every character that was released from Zhongli onwards, and of course, this video is completely my opinion, so feel free to agree or disagree with me. Let's start with Zhongli. She was the last unit I pulled before setting the game down. While she does utilize a lot of the same black and white color palette, she has this light pink hair and red accents that really pop. I do wish her hair didn't fade into white as her design already has plenty of that color, but she's still gorgeous. If I remember correctly, I do believe her outfit changes when in combat depending on what forte you are at. There's this one where her clothes get set on fire too, and that's just really cool. One thing that does bother me about this design is how her hair is split into two on the rings. It's an interesting concept, but this means the bottom braid isn't hair that's actually attached to her head. The next release is Jeji. While I first saw her design, I wasn't too impressed, but once I took a closer look, there was a lot to appreciate. I love the teal fading into pink, and that same pink fade is in her hair as well. Her using an ink brush was such a great idea for her weapon, and that allowed for some really unique animations. I don't think this is a bad design, but I don't find it that memorable either, aside from her paintbrush. I think this character really shines in her combat animations, and that's what gave her the unique flair. Next up is Shorekeeper, and I remember many praising this design when it first came out, and I can see why. We have yet another pretty character. I love the blue butterfly motif and the unique cuts to her dress. Usually I find a lot of skin showing like this odd, but for whatever reason, it just works with her elegant and flowy dress. I'm not sure if I dig the veil/hood as much, but she seems like a very elegant character. I do love that her skin cracked like glass in the trailer. I've always thought that was just a really cool concept. Now we're on to Camellia, which is a character I'm familiar with thanks to her introduction earlier in the story. Her design does rely on the same black and white palette as many characters before her, but I love the fade to red. Not only that, but she has a whole other form where her hair turns red too. I do enjoy her thorns and roses theme, and I like that they decided to choose red for her main color instead of green to resemble those flowers. While I do enjoy a good battle-crazed maniac every now and then, I like how her trailer she got the flower petal symbol in her eye. It's a nice detail that signals her transformation. That wraps up the rest of version 1 characters that I missed, though I'd probably have a lot of fun logging into Wuthering Waves again and leveling up my Zhongli. Now we're on to version 2, which I believe is supposed to be inspired by Italy. I heard that the game got a bunch of quality of life updates, such as gliding for example, that made players excited to explore the new zones. With an exciting new version, it's Carlotta who gets the spotlight as the first new character, so let's start with her. Her design is really cute, and I love the fact that they used a dark red for her coat. Seeing as her main colors are red and white, I would have liked if the black boots were changed to fit this color scheme, as the black is a bit awkward here. A subtle detail that I do really enjoy on her design is the shiny golden stripes on her bow and coat. It's small, but it really enhances the design, and it makes it even sparkle in the trailer when she moves. I would not be surprised one bit if she was very hyped during her release, marking a brand new version. Next up is Rosia, and I immediately get a circus-like vibe from her design. The darker blue and pink hair in swirls caught my attention first, but then I noticed her eyes. She has one yellow and one pink, with an interesting pupil in both of them, making her stand out quite a bit. I really like that she has all sorts of patterns on her outfit, diamonds being one of the main ones repeated throughout. Though I don't know what her little shadow friend is, but it's so cute. In the trailer, it looks like she uses a suitcase as a weapon, which makes me a bit more confident in my initial circus assessment, as they can travel quite a lot. This is the design that tells me so much about this character. For fun, I decided to look her up on the wiki page, and it says she belongs to the troupe of fools, which means this design was able to give me an accurate assessment of who she is. That's pretty darn cool and what I would consider a successful design. Phoebe was released next, and I remember seeing her design floating around social media and liking it. I love the sun hat in the main color palette of white and blue. It almost seems to contrast Carlotta's red and white color palette as they both wear dresses. I also like the added detail of the thorns on her head, and seeing as she's an acolyte from the trailer, I wonder if that's a reference to the Crown of Thorns relic. I also find the black colors in her outfit are balanced pretty well, making it not so awkward, and it actually enhances the design to help break up the shapes. Not to mention the really pretty wavy blonde hair. I have a feeling Phoebe would be a character I would pull on if I was still playing the game. Next is Brant, and I know quite a few people who don't play the game but ended up really loving his design, myself included. I am not surprised one bit to see him stuck in a sail in his trailer. Real quick before I get into his design, I have to note one thing I loved about his trailer, and that's the shot where he landed on the gondola. I was very lucky to travel to Italy earlier this year, and this setting in the trailer is definitely inspired by Venice. There are docks everywhere, as boats are the main method of transportation, there's no cars, and so many small bridges connecting the numerous islands that Venice is made of. They nailed the environment here. One small detail I would have loved to see is the bell towers leaning ever so slightly, as the ground in Venice is actually slowly sinking. You should look up some pictures of the bell towers in Venice, as they have a lean on them. The Tower of Pisa that Italy is known for isn't the only one. Okay, enough of the side tangent. The usage of color in Brant's design is very well done, with a dark red that fades to blue to give him some pop among the white and black colors for his core. Seeing as I now know him and Rosia are from the same troupe, I can definitely see some similarities between their designs. Brant has some similar patterns to his clothes, and the tacet mark on his chest is a nice detail. I also really like how they tackled his hat by making the underparts the dark blue and the top white, but you can find these gold accents just bringing it all together. Without a doubt, I would have pulled this guy. Oh no. Okay, we're on to the character that broke the internet during her release. That is none other than Cantarella. Even I, who doesn't interact with much Wuwa content, saw her everywhere, from the animated tongue scene with her tacet mark to certain changes in her outfit that people blew up all over social media. If you know, you know. I think the designers did a really good job nailing the jellyfish theme with Cantarella's design. The umbrella was such a good choice, and the long, wavy, flowy hair helps too. I feel like while Wuwa designers still rely on black and white a lot, they've gotten much better with using other colors. Her soft blues and purples work so well, and the white helps blend everything together so nicely. I'm not sure if I would personally pull for her, but I definitely appreciate the effort that was put into her design. Next released is Zani. Right after I praised these characters for utilizing some color, we're back to the same old reliance to black and white with some pops of red and gold. I gotta say, I was not expecting that voice or accent in the trailer, but I dig it. Also, the part where she does her small transformation with her hair and tail beginning to glow was pretty cool too. Her horns are a unique shape, and it's a nice step away from the typical horns you'd see on characters like this. Even though I want to see the designs continue to explore different colors, I have to admit this palette does work well for Zani. She almost reads as a professional bodyguard with the setting of the trailer and her design. I did look at her wiki page, and it says she has an affiliation with a bank. You guys will have to tell me if my prediction is correct or not here. Before moving on to the next character, I just want to say how impressed I am with these trailers. The Genshin Impact trailers have been a huge inspiration for me for many years, and I'm happy to say that these Wuwa trailers will likely join Genshin in my sources for inspiration. They're animated really well, the music has been great in all of them, and I've really enjoyed watching them to put together this video. It felt like a little movie I was watching. Okay, next is Xiaosona. I hope I got that name right, I had to look it up. A bard that utilizes dark greens and white for her color palette. The horns on her head and elf ears spark curiosity, as I now wonder what she is in the world of Wuthering Waves. The little green flowers and vines on her head are a nice touch as well. I'm not sure if she needed the black fabric on her chest. It almost makes the design a bit too busy, and without it, I actually think it would show the tacet mark under her collarbone even better. Overall, it's a nice design, and I like that it included a song in her trailer. It's very befitting for a character like a bard. Now we're on to Cartethia, and this was a character that flooded my timeline similarly to Cantarella, except this design was constantly compared to Skirk for whatever reason. I think that's just because they released around the same time. Going into the trailer, I do know that there's two versions of this character, one being a smaller version and one being a larger one, so I'll go over them both. The larger version is the one where we see first in the trailer, and I really like the thorns around her design. And the split hair color, having blonde on the outside but this light blue on the inside, is a unique choice. She is huge though, and I wonder if the diamond-like designs near her ears are an extension of her tacet mark. That may be a stretch, but the shape is very similar to the one on her forehead. We see the thorn crown design again too. I think though, between the bigger design and the smaller one, I do prefer her smaller form. We get to see a lot of the same shapes and design motifs, but I think it just fits her form a lot better. I really like how these light diamond shapes near her ears turn into blue earrings. Although I am more curious than ever before about these thorn motifs and what they mean. If any of you would like to tell me if there's a deeper meaning behind them, I'd love to read about it. Lupa is next, a gladiator character. This alone makes me wonder if Wuwa is now moving over to Rome and taking inspiration from the Colosseum. Right away, I love her hair and the hair ornaments. I think the headband is a really nice touch. Unfortunately though, the rest of the design falls apart for me. Why does a gladiator known for fighting have very little armor? Even her teammate has armor, but then her midriff is exposed. Perhaps Lupa is a more agile character that would suffer from heavy armor slowing her down, but you would think at the very least she wouldn't leave certain parts of her sides exposed like they are with her design. I do really love that her spear has a huge flag on it. That's pretty cool, even if it's not the most practical. I think I'm just personally not a big fan of this design, but I do like the concept that they were going for. Now, Frolova is a character we did meet pretty early on, and I got to see her when I played Wuthering Waves, so it's nice to see her become playable. One aspect of her design that always bothered me was the bandages. It just feels a little unnecessary, so I was hoping that her trailer would explain it. It did not, but I was reading that it holds some of her power. You'll have to let me know. But otherwise, I think this design is neat. I like the red flower on her chest and the motif that was used throughout the trailer. Her controlling the monster is a nice detail, as I remember her doing that way back towards the beginning of the game as well. I love her hairstyle with the long braids. It's not my favorite design, but I have a feeling this is a character that would win me over depending on her lore and writing. I just hope that seeing her become playable means my boy Scar will have a chance at one day becoming playable too. We're getting closer and closer to the latest characters as of writing the video. I've seen both Augustus and Ayuno on social media, and honestly, I have some high expectations. Starting with Augusta, we see a beautiful flame-colored hair and white and gold as her main color palette. She has gold plating on her, which is awesome, and even this large sun symbol on her forehead. I was expecting one of these characters to be a gladiator of some kind, and I was not disappointed. Her sword being a collection of various swords from those I presume she defeated in battle is just badass. Her design screams warrior, and they absolutely nailed it on the head. The thin sheer white fabric she has also reminds me of a lot of the Roman carved statues as well. As Augusta resembles the sun, Ayuno resembles the moon. In the first few seconds of her trailer, I could already tell some crazy attention to detail. Artemis is the god of the hunt and moon and wields a bow. Having the moon character wield a bow is just perfect thematically. I also really love the small crescent moon detail on her wrist, and the gold crown on her head. Her giant ring actually doubles as a bow too. Okay, it's official. I really love these sun and moon characters. They nailed their themes so well. Her light and dark blue hair and the subtle use of blues in her dress is so good. Her weapon, and it's just freaking awesome, just like Augusta's, but in a different way. Yep, I would have both of them on my account. There is one more 5-star character who just got their trailer a few days ago as of writing. It's none other than Galbrenna. Her wings are pretty cool, but this design is a far cry from what we just got in the version 2 cast so far. Coming from seeing a more ancient Roman attire with gladiators to something very modern is giving me a bit of whiplash. She looks cool, don't get me wrong, but she stands out like a sore thumb. Her gun is a cool design, and the usage of dark blues and blacks work nicely. Her wings bring out this very much needed pop of red while still keeping the blue hues. There's not much else I have to say on this design other than while it's cool, it's not my favorite. That sums up the characters who got trailers, but there has to be some 4 stars that were released during this time as well. I also think there was a free 5-star that I skipped, so we'll quickly go over those now. Starting with Lumi, the first thing I see are the large mouse ears. It's so cute! I like how the ears on the tail resemble that of a light bulb, and the light pink jacket is a nice touch too. I don't think using white and black was very successful here, as the design could have been elevated to the next level if they stuck with the light pink and this orangish color palette. Wait. Those better be mouse ears and not her hair just tucked around in a swirl, I swear to. Next is Yohu, and apparently the last of the newer 4 stars? You mean to tell me only 2 new 4 stars have come out within the year? Oh boy. She's a cutie though, that relies mostly on white, black, and different shades of blue. I do really like the giant wind chime on her chest. It's unique and it makes me wonder if there's any lore or kit significance with it. Her hair curls have flowers inside as fun, and this character definitely gives me an icy vibe with all the cool tones. She actually shares some similarities with Shorekeeper, and it makes me wonder if these two are connected, though that may be a reach. Lastly, we have the free 5-star that was given to players with Xiangli Yao. I like his prosthetic arm, but honestly, I don't have much to say. The black, white, and now blue color combo isn't starting to get old now. Seeing that he has an electric element, I think this really could have benefited from using purple accents instead of blue. I know that characters don't need to be designed with their elements' colors in mind, but this would have helped differentiate him from the rest of the cast, even if just by a little margin. Now, in a recently teased splash art, there is one more character that I know of. He's too new to have his trailer released or any other promotional material as of writing, but that's Chiu Yen. I probably butchered that name, I'm so sorry. The splash art is very busy and it's hard to pinpoint what's going on, but it does look pretty cool. I'm curious to see his trailers in the future, but for now, I don't have much to say. I just wanted to include him at the very end here so that you all know I am aware that he exists. After looking at all these designs, I do think that Wuthering Waves has improved its character design since the initial starting cast. Some are definitely more successful than others, but I'm glad to see them branching out with different colors and borrowing inspirations from Italy's history. Augusta and Ayuno have to be some of my favorite designs from this batch, no contest. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I like to talk about art-related topics in my favorite media, with gacha games being one of them. If you want to watch more, I've made one Wuwa video in the past about the starting cast designs. It's old now, and it's a little awkward. Maybe you can get some enjoyment out of it still. I'll leave that up to you. As a disclaimer, I believe that was my first video that also hit over 1K views, so I was a bit frazzled. Take care, and I hope to see you in the next one.